Pro Wrestling Summit. Happy Sunday morning. It's AEW Sunday. Good morning to you. Knowledge Tatum. Man, AEW has been shockingly good. Tony Khan deserves a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of grace.
It almost hurts to say with how much shit that we've given him.
I don't give a fuck.
I would like to think that TK listens and he's just he's taking our criticisms and trying to improve. So.
Yeah, I don't think he gives a fuck what we have to say.
60 G's, so each. Baby, sorry, I said G, baby, each, right? So, but he should care what we have to say.
Yeah.
Most people should, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever, dude.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I care what you have to say.
And I care what you have to say.
Oh, perfect. Well,
and hopefully if you're listening, you care what we have to say.
Yeah, and if you don't, well...
Let us hear about it. If I can leave a comment or something.
Yeah, fuck it.
Keep listening and sharing with everybody you know.
So AEW is really fucking interesting, bro. Really fucking interesting. And here's the reason why. I don't necessarily understand why they had Jay White's debut on Dynamite be against another guy that they're trying to get over in Commander. And it's like kind of tough to see where that's a good idea, because when they announced the match, I went, who the fuck are you gonna put over right here? And I was like, for half a second, I was like, what if Jay White loses in his fucking debut?
That would have been something.
On Dynamite. Well, just think about it from the perspective of the headlines. How many eyes would be tuning into that clip? Mm-hmm. He's already lost to guys in AEW. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be like a stretch. And
he's had to be your first match in.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough.
You have lost them in the past, but this is your start here in AEW. Fresh slate, coming off a very hot moment. Can't really lose that. And I almost think that they put Commander in that match to allow him to showcase himself. And even if he loses to Jay White, he doesn't lose anything.
Because it's Jay White. What I will say is that for anyone who was watching that match who may have not understood what was going on, and maybe somebody didn't listen to the AEW Dynamite review, and if you haven't, maybe you want to go check that out. I mean, that's right. We got playlists. I mean, you can just click right through the playlist, listen to all the 300 episodes, listen to all the Pro Wrestling Summit stuff. But I said this during the review. There were 2 points during the opening sequence that almost went terribly wrong for Commander. And by terribly wrong, I mean more likely than not would have been paralyzed in both instances. And Jay White, being the fucking pro that he is, knew exactly what was happening and fucking got right in the middle of it to help him maintain his balance, catch him, bridge him. He really fucking saved them. And the first spot is when he was doing the jumping on the ropes, and he kind of lost his footing when he was jumping from rope to rope, and Jay White literally grabbed his own wrist and held him up there. Mm-hmm. He could have got... If he didn't do that and Commander landed on his head, he would have landed on the top of his head. He would have been like a fucking pogo stick.
And I don't know why that spot... He had such trouble with that spot, because, if you've seen anything that this is not a new thing for him. He does this all the time, and it always goes very smoothly.
Yeah.
So the fact that he had such trouble...
And throughout the match, he had trouble with the ropes. He tried to run the ropes later on in the match, and he had an issue running the ropes. He couldn't fucking get his balance.
So was it an issue with the ropes then?
I don't know. It could have been the fresh tape on. It could have been fresh tape on the ropes. It could have been fucking anything. It could have been super slippery. You never fucking know.
It's just in that type of moment, you would think that as you're just preparing in the ring right before the match starts, you just test that top rope and say, you know what? we got to cut this. I just don't feel confident in it.
Well, and herein comes the problem of, we're doing this spot.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water, fuck this is what the plan is, and we're not veering from the plan. Like,
we've talked about this before. If you didn't catch our Wrestling 101
old school versus
new clips, then go back and listen to that.
Yeah,
Tell
absolutely.
us all about those spots versus just calling it in the ring. When you're doing spots, you just get stuck into it, and I agree with you. Like, you can't make those audibles when that's going to be a crucial point in your match.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it was really difficult to watch because I was like this, like the first spot I was like, okay, that wasn't that bad, but the Hurricane Rana spot to follow jumping off the ropes and almost getting really fucked up. He tried to do a Hurricane Rana and completely lost his footing when he was trying to spring off of the ropes, and did a body Hurricane Rana on him, and again, Jay White putting himself in position to make sure that he was there to at least get a body on the guy to do that.
And if he keeps doing this shit in AEW, he's not going to be working with people that can do that.
No, because I'm sure Jay White was not happy. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he was not happy about it at all. He did not look happy. I mean, it is what it is, dude. It's fine, but it's kind of difficult. And another thing that I wanted to bring up about Wednesday's show is Wardlow won the TNT title back from Powerhouse Hobbs. So it seems like it was all a bunch of fuckery. I don't understand why they're playing hot potato with the fucking with the mid card championship. It doesn't seem to make a lot of fucking sense. But regardless of that, I like how AEW and I'm being totally sarcastic when I say that. I like how AEW gave Wardlow a minute to breathe after winning the title with Arn Anderson, the new guy in his corner. I love how instantly Christian Cage's music hit, and here he comes with Luchasaurus, and they just stood on the ramp staring at him, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Are these guys with Arn Anderson, and they're gonna be part of Wardlow's group? What the fuck is going on?
Why was Arn Anderson there? That was weird to me.
Did they get this guy on a fucking bed? Leave him alone.
I don't understand why he had to be out there. The power bombs to Powerhouse Hobbs looked awful.
Fucking three of them. Why?
And could barely get him up. Could barely get him up.
There was a miscommunication from the second one in that match, and
the cover where he laid on top of him was really weird for me.
I'm not sure, but listen, man, I don't want to speculate, but from an outside perspective, it looked like those motherfuckers did not want to do business with each other.
Mm. So that's more of an insulting way to cover them.
I'm not saying it was a shoot, because it definitely wasn't a shoot, but there was a definite lack of cooperation from both those gentlemen in terms of doing moves. From the opening belly to belly spot, I was like, "What the fuck is going on, bro?" Are they blown up? What's happening? And then I'm watching and I'm like, whoa, these guys look like they're they don't want to do no business with each other.
But what a way to just tarnish both men with this whole with the hot potatoing the title back and forth. It doesn't elevate the title. It doesn't elevate either man. There's really no point to it. It's just a bad situation all around.
It's a total fucking waste, dude. It's a total waste.
And that's the reason why I was glad that Christian came out with Luchasaurus, because hopefully Luchasaurus is just his next competitor and he'll take the title off of him, and they can just move on from, Wardlow could just be out of that picture.
Maybe they should get rid of the title. Throw it in the tar pits.
I mean, if you're going to use it the way you're using it, I'm all for it. It's just not. There's no point to it. There's no point to that title. It doesn't have any legitimacy in my eyes.
It's too bad because it's a beautiful fucking title belt. That fucking title belt's really nice.
But it's not. What's the title now? International Championship, the one that Orange Cassidy is.
Intergalactic, planetary.
They've changed the name of that stuff, but that has more legitimacy now than this nonsense that Wardlow
and that's coming from a guy that doesn't even like Orange Cassidy.
I can't stand the way that Orange Cassidy works. I don't like him as a wrestler, but it has more legitimacy, and it's being utilized better than anything they've done with Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs over the last 5 months.
I'm going to tell you something right now, and you may disagree with me, but in my opinion, Orange Cassidy is the fucking MVP right now of 2023, as far as I'm concerned. Like, he has consistently put on quality shit. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but he's put on quality matches against quality opponents and made everyone looks good when they come out of it.
Here's what I'll say. I don't disagree with you because he's been available. He's worked whatever they needed him to work. I still don't like him as a wrestler. And I can respect that. Yeah, he's been like the guy for AEW right now. But I wish it was somebody else in that role. And I don't know if somebody else could fill that role. I don't see the title on him and think, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, because you don't see him as a champion?
I don't see him as a champion. I don't see him as a mid-card champion. I see him as a comedy act, you know? Right. And so it doesn't bring a legitimacy to the championship to me. But a lot of people like him, and you know what? You put the championships on the people that are going to put butts in seats, and people that earn their spots. And
Jim Ross's famous line, I want to put an ass every 16 inches.
Yeah, so with that in mind, it makes sense that he's holding it. You know, people are very interested in him. I'll say that it has a lot to do with Danhausen being in his corner. So
how fucking convenient. The guy that you love. Fuck him. No, man.
I love Danhausen.
No, listen, dude. Like, I like him as, like, a manager because it's, like, quirky and it's funny. As soon as you put that guy in the ring for me, I just go... like, the comedy aspect of it it's like too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like Orange Cassidy's, there's so much athleticism incorporated with sticking your hands in your pockets and performing incredible fucking moves not using your arms. Mm-hmm. Like, that Danhausen, it's more like, I curse you.
Yeah, Danhausen has more of that, like, Carney type of feel.
Yes, and it's, but, like, I don't...
But I think there's a place for it. That's
yeah, no, I don't think that I think that there's totally a place for it, and I don't think that it's wrong from a managerial standpoint. Mm-hmm. As soon as you have somebody in the ring start, I curse you, like, you know, I'm just like, what? Yeah. Like, punch this freak in the face. Like, that's what you should do. Like, you know, and people just like, they fucking play all scared and shit. And I'm like, wait, dude, I'm supposed to take you as a serious wrestler who's an ass kicker? Fuck you now. You've been cursed by a crazy dude in face paint.
There definitely needs to be, when he does that, like, the whole point should be it doesn't actually do anything clearly, but people shouldn't be afraid of it. You can have the people that you would expect to be afraid of it, but, you know, somebody who's a legitimate competitor shouldn't be afraid of it, and yet... It's
but
enough
people sell it like
and yet it should be something where it's like it's enough of a distraction that, like, there's some fuckery behind them, or, you know, they get whatever, just a knee to the back of the head, something.
There has to be something associated with it,
right? And he can think the entire time, oh, it's because of my curse, whatever. But even these legitimate guys just see it as a distraction.
Listen, dude, I love hearing the people pop for him.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. I love hearing the people pop for him. I think it's fucking great. I think that he is extremely talented with his crowd work and understanding the psychology of working the crowd. I don't... For me, that does not translate into legitimate in-ring work. There's not enough athleticism associated with his gimmick to, and I'm not taking nothing away from the guy. He is, he way more athletic than me.
But see, this is the thing, though. I mean, you had the same opinion about Orange Cassidy until he showed you the in-ring work. You had the same type of...
I wasn't into it, man.
Right. And then when he showed you his athleticism and the in-ring work and everything, and he actually put the effort into wrestling, that's when he won you over. And that's fair.
I started to understand it a little bit more the more that I watched him, because I paid attention, because I think that it's important to do that. When you hear people pop, you should be paying attention. If you're a wrestling fan, you should be paying attention and asking yourself, why are these fucking people popping the way that they are? I mean, just as a fan. And if you're a fucking wrestler, you should be like sitting there with a notebook going, why the fuck? How do I get that reaction? What do I need to do in my gimmick or my fucking wrestling style to get this type of reaction? And it's not being a tough guy, because everybody's a tough guy. Separate yourself from the pack. And stand out otherwise. Don't stand out for doing something stupid or being like everybody else. It's not going to make you stand out, I promise you. I promise you, no one's going to pay attention. There are a million fucking tough guys in wrestling. A million of them. Show people that you can play a character, a gimmick. You have something associated with you that makes you different. Sorry that I just ranted like that, but
I think it's useful for people to understand that.
But Orange Cassidy, man, I think that there's something to be said for, and you're exactly right. I fucking hated it at first. I was like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
I remember we talked to when the first time you saw the little kicks that he does, and so, where he's kind of revving up and all that. You were like, this is a mockery of wrestling. That's all this is a mockery of wrestling. Puts his hands in his pockets, he's going to wrestle with his hands. That's a mockery of wrestling. And a lot of people felt like that. I still am not completely down with it. I get the whole athleticism thing. I think I'm still sour off of my first impression of him, and I just can't shake it. But like I said, I agree with you. I definitely could see him being like the MVP of AEW right now.
Yeah, I mean, just from his consistency. Like, he consistently goes out there and fucking defends that title, puts on, listen, the crowd gets what they want. It gets what they want with Orange Cassidy.
And he's going up against legitimate competitors.
He's not like fucking facing tomato cans. Right. Like, he's facing real deal dudes. Like,
and it's questionable every single match whether he's actually going to retain the championship.
Dude, I mean, you honestly don't know.
Right.
And I think that's the fucking genius of it, is because he is a guy that is a complete wild card. You don't, his style is so different that if you're looking at it from like a matchup perspective, like on paper, like, okay, these guys like are both like really strong wrestlers or whatever. He is the odd man out in every matchup. Like, he doesn't make sense with what he's able to do, because he might start the match with his hands in his pockets. He might put his hands in his pockets 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in. He might put his hands in his pockets at the very end of the match. So you have like very little idea like what he's actually going to do.
And I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but even detractors like myself, when he puts his hands in his pockets like that, I mean, think of the rock bottom. Think a lot of the shit that the 5-knuckle shuffle, all this shit.
The people's elbow.
People's elbow. That's what I meant. The people's elbow, not the rock bottom. But the people's elbow, the 5-knuckle shuffle, Scotty 2 Hotty's worm and all that shit. Like all this stuff that's just goofy stuff that was over like fucking crazy.
Bro, Rikishi stuck his ass in people's noses, and the fucking place would go crazy. That is the most insane fucking thing that I have ever heard. You're basically giving the dude a Caesar salad toss, and and fucking people are like, oh my god, he called me a bad name, or he called me something that offended me.
Yeah.
How would you like to be on the hey, your job tonight is to go out there and this giant human being is going to stick his very, very large ass,
rotund
ass directly on your face.
Oh, and he's going to hike up his trunks to do it. Yeah.
It is fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
So, what do you think about the Pillars tournament? That's currently.
I love that. I love that MJF and Sammy are like fucking playing buddy buddy, and I hate Sammy. So it is like double good for me because I know what's coming at the end of at the end of this whole thing. Like I know that they're gonna end up wrestling each other in the finals, or well, I shouldn't say that because Darby might actually end up fucking beating Sammy.
But at some point they're gonna go head to head.
They're gonna wrestle because MJF is gonna fuck him out of the check or the money. The check bounces, something fucking happens. It was from my business account. I gotta move funds over. It's like it's gonna be so good promo wise.
It's why I love both of them so much, and I hate Sammy, but in terms of his character work and everything. They play their roles very well, and even on Twitter. So Wednesday on Twitter, Twitter removed all the blue checks for anybody who wasn't paying for the service.
What?
Yeah, they removed all the blue checks for anybody that wasn't paying for their for the blue checks anymore.
Danny, do we have a blue check?
Well, I don't think we have a blue check. Danny, just
how much is a blue check?
Danny, you gonna fork over the $8 a month?
It's $8 a month?
$8 a month for a blue check.
But anybody can have a blue check.
Anybody can have a blue check.
So bots are just going to have blue checks.
Oh, yeah. There are, like, yellow checks out there for, like, businesses and stuff like that to prove that it's an actual legitimate business and, you know. So, but...
Danny, you got to look this shit up and send me the fucking... and you got to send me all the specs on it. I got to see this shit.
But MJF on Twitter on Wednesday said, me and my new friend Sammy, Thursday, sorry. Me and my new friend Sammy both agree to pay for each other's blue check marks. That way we don't have to be marks paying for our own. And he's got the blue check next to his name. And then Sammy retweeted and he tweeted at him. He said, yup. So Max, did you send the money yet? Max? And there's no blue check next to Sammy's name.
It's really genius.
It's very smart.
Dude, the littlest thing. Yeah. It must sound so ridiculous to somebody who like doesn't understand the wrestling business, because like the smarminess of the whole thing is what makes it awesome, because it is completely up to him. What, you know what I mean? There's not somebody saying, all right, maybe you shouldn't say that. He's just fucking saying whatever he wants. Yeah. And he's doing whatever he wants. And it's over. Mm-hmm. And he's not... Do you really think that he's like a fucking giant dickhead in real life? No.
Probably not.
No. I think he's probably one of the most respectful fucking human beings.
I would say he's probably a mild dickhead. But like, the kind that you're okay hanging out with, you know? It's a dickhead that's funny. It's not like intentionally trying to be a horrible person.
Like Danny.
Like, exactly like Danny.
Danny, I'm sorry to bury you like that, but that's exactly what you're like. God. A fucking a dickhead who's funny, but you won't let anyone else know that you're funny, you fucking piece of shit.
Just one time just coming on and saying anything.
No, he doesn't want to say shit.
He just stares at us with that fucking glare, the fucking beady little eyes.
Yeah, man. I don't understand them, dude. I don't know. He's giving me the old chuck and duck. Anyway,
the whole Pillars thing is I I think it's overdone at this point. What are you going to keep having pillars of AEW every year, and you're going to have?
Well, no, dude. I mean, they're the original pillars with Britt Baker. I mean, but I don't think they're doing a ton of intergender stuff right now. I think they're not doing that.
Max, MJF, Maxwell. I know him first name basis, so it's fine. Anyway, he made a comment on some podcast where he's like, "Yeah, Britt Baker wants to say that she's a pillar. That's because PG Punk said it in a promo. She can't touch me. If she were in the ring with me, I'd kick the shit out of her." He's a very smart individual.
Dude, listen, man. He has something that you can't teach. He gets it. He gets the psychology of it and like how to be an effective heel. Mm-hmm. And he realizes that he can use social media to just do his bidding. And
it just makes sense when like you're in social media. Just be in character on social media. That's the best thing about that interaction between MJF and Sammy Guevara. Just be in character. It makes sense. I mean, it'll put you over on social media. People jumped all over that. And you get stories about it, and
it's funny.
A little thing like that. It takes 30 seconds to come up with a tweet and send it out.
But see, that's the thing, dude. You got to be smart enough to come up with that tweet.
Right.
You got to be creative enough to and have enough foresight to understand, like, okay, I can tweet this out and fucking get some reaction off of this shit. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, and that's why I think he's probably like a fucking super nice human being, and like he's not really like that. But even if he is like that, whatever, I don't fucking care, dude. Like, good on you for fucking being like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, because I'm like that. I'm a fucking asshole all the time. I don't fucking change.
I just think that for him, in order for the MJF character to be real for him, it has to be an accentuated part of his true self. So I gotta think
it wouldn't work as well.
Right. If he's like a super nice guy, he wouldn't be able to pull a lot of this shit off.
Yeah, but an extension. Mm-hmm. I think that he probably grew up with kids in Long Island that were exactly like this.
Yeah.
And listen, dude, he's just taking the environment around him, and he's no different than any rapper or any fucking actor who has, went to like a really good like private school and like they have to play a thug. They don't really understand how to play a thug. But their
parents have a real good marriage.
Jesus Christ, B-Rabbit. Fucking Christ.
That's all I can think of.
You gonna rap me the rest of the fucking song? I was thinking Malibu's Most Wanted.
Oh my God, Malibu's Most Wanted.
What a fucking great movie. Can't make that nowadays, buddy. Nope. But yeah, man, I mean, I think that there's a lot of good shit in AEW right now with Maxwell. I mean, even Adam Cole. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Jericho and him.
That's an area where I disagree with you. I thought that he was. Your Britt Baker's getting her ass kicked, and you're not even convincingly upset over it. I don't know.
Well, dude, I mean, again, these guys are not actors, man.
Right.
They don't understand the intricacies of it. There's a big difference between pro wrestling and acting convincingly.
But that's a separation there where I think that sometimes the E has a little bit of a.
Well, I mean, you're handcuffed to the rope, bro. You're not even like trying to like fight to get the handcuff off. You're
literally
just, like,
pull. All you do, yank on that thing, like flail at her, trying to get to her.
Throw yourself on the ground, trying to get at her, reaching out for her. Touch me.
Jericho's right there,
I thought
go after him.
I thought Jericho was going to start laying into her with the stick. Oh, I was like, he is going to blast her in the head with the stick, and the place is going to go crazy.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Anyway, this has been AEW Sunday, man. Welcome to the show. Anyway, tune in later on today. We got more shit coming your way. Go watch wrestling. Peace!